Zoom just likes to quit sometimes.
Were you both on Spotlight? Is that too much for the video? I don't know.
Oh, I don't know. Now I can't. Anyway, I can hear. I've got a weird display, but I can hear if anybody else has anything you'd like to share. Bye, John. Ah, here we are. Gallery.
Good morning, it's Denise.
Hello, Denise.
I have been wondering, so recently I talked about, the breath as a gift, and like I can imagine myself opening up a present and like this like sigh of gratitude, and you always say, may I live my life like one sigh of gratitude. But I'm wondering what the corresponding in-breath words are. Because sometimes it's like easy for me to be grateful, or like I feel that like resting into, but I don't have the like corresponding comfort on the in-breath. Oh, I might never find out.
I'm a little confused.
So when I breathe in, I don't know what to do. When
Ah,
I breathe out, I can have this sigh of gratitude and I can feel
I see. Okay.
something. But when I'm breathing in, I don't know where to go. Sometimes I do, but I don't have like the words to go with it.
Mm. The the practice of bare attention has no words. It's the coming together of the experience and knowing. And so the the strategies, the additional practices of may my life become one great sigh of gratitude. There's a metaphor in there or something, and that's a layer of adding cognition and intention, and it really makes things quite complex. And there's a place for that. There's also a place for, as one's practice grows, of having less and less cognition of any kind. And then there is breathing in, which is the breathing in of the universe. And even that's adding a whole new layer of abstraction. There's nothing, and then there's, out of this field of presence, there comes the impulse to breathe. And then the mind may have a thought, oh, I wonder about this, I wonder about that. Is this a sigh of gratitude? And then, however, that in the practice of insight meditation, we do our best over time to let go of all of those thoughts. And so what emerges is simple, brilliant presence. Is that making sense as a refinement on practice? I'm remembering of an instance a long time ago now. I was on a retreat at Cloud Mountain, and I'd been I'd been teaching for 25 years or more, but I was on a personal retreat, and I had a particular spot I'd like to go do walking meditation, and I went up there, and I was doing an hour of walking practice, and somehow or another, the question arose, why am I doing this? And I had no idea. Because, you push the right button and blah, 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 blah. He talks about Dharma and he's got all these ideas, but there were no ideas. But what I knew, and it went on for a little while that day, what I knew was that the plan was to walk and be aware of lifting, moving, placing, and then, but why am I doing this? Thinking, lifting, moving, placing. And so there was this taking refuge in the very simple fact of walking. Because the cognitive piece, the meaning piece, all that complex cognitive piece can sometimes just disappear. How's that feel to hear that, Denise?
I figured you would say something along those lines. That I knew that it was about, being present.
Yeah. Now, if you wanted to add an overlay, how about this? Somewhere on the far side of the planet, let's say 150 miles north of Manaus, in the center of the Amazon, there's a giant tree. And that tree was involved in photosynthesis 2 or 3 weeks ago, and it was building branches and leaves, and it released all this oxygen. And it was released as a gift for you. It was the breath of the world for you. And somewhere in the, who knows where, it's way deep in the Arctic, maybe, maybe it's the Sargasso Sea, that ocean of miles and miles of kelp, and that's just north of Cuba. I sailed through it on the ship I worked on 100 years ago. That those kelp are doing the same job, and they too were preparing the oxygen for your last breath, or for your breath right now. And so then if we want to do a visualization, there's this visualization which is the communion that we're experiencing. That our lungs, your lungs in this breath, are communing with all the green beings of the world. And there's something beautiful and intimate and maybe transpersonal in that. And that's a practice of complexity and of meaning and prayer. And there's a simpler practice, which is just this moment of breathing in, contact. And the start of the breath is way over. It's ancient history by the time the breath gets to turning from in to out. Quite frankly, I enjoyed that visualization myself a lot. I love that. We belong here. We are the earth. We are the earth dancing. A long time ago on one of my retreats, there was a naturopath. I forget her name now. Anyway, at the end of the retreat, she kind of grabbed me by the throat. The feeling was she had me by the scruff of the throat here. It's like, hey, you. And she said, you call yourself an environmentalist. You claim to really care about the earth. Well, you're not taking very good care of the piece of the earth you're most responsible for, which is you. So she was on my case to take more rest, and she was right. She was right.
Robert, it's Michelina.
Michelina, hello, my dear.
Hi. I feel like I could use some help untangling something. Um, there's this kiddo in my life who I talk about from time to time, and there's they're almost 19, and we're in this kind of still pretty entangled relationship that we're trying to find ways to, like, skillfully, gently, but also firmly, like, help them find their strength and their sense of self, and some modicum of independence. And it's tricky because there's a lot of PTSD and other things going on, and there's a lot of push pull in the relationship, and there are periods of relative estrangement, and then there's periods where they come a little closer, and they've been coming a little closer lately, and it's an opportunity to be in relationship and try to shift the relationship, but there's this, every time it happens, the trance of rescue save, like, flares up in me, like, big. And it's been a really challenging few days of catching myself in that over and over and over again. And I found myself, like, today, sitting here in meditation and like recognizing, like, probably 30 seconds before we ended, that I had been in that trance the whole time, and that I was, like, doing these tricks to try to, like, stop it without stopping it, like tricking myself into thinking I'm not doing the rescue save trance, but I really was just doing, like, there was just, like, another version of it, and like some downshifting, like, from this, like, whoo, to maybe some whoa, 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 and, like, and moving from, like, this intricate plan of, like, if I do this and this and this and this and this, then maybe that'll, like, that'll be the thing, to it's time to, like, hire a family therapist to like, really focus on this. But it's really like pretty intrusive again, and I feel like I could use some, like, help kind of cutting through. Like, maybe, like, I don't know if it, like a mantra. There was, like, because I got to a point where I was able to kind of, for just a moment, be like, and none of that, and none of that is like helping, is serving me when I'm trying to come into myself, come into this place of equanimity, and if I can, like, feel my body, like, reconfiguring and all of its, like, constrictive stuff. But I don't want to get stuck again. And I need my practice time to be my practice time. And I was wondering if you could just help me with, like, dare I say, like, a shortcut to kind of help pull me out.
Well, that's a lot of complexity there that you just shared. I did have a thought that came up at near the end, which is a favorite quote from Ajahn Sumedho, and I mean, we need more conversation to be able to be more particularly helpful, I think. But this might be useful. It's under S for Sumedo, I think. Here it is. Okay, you ready?
Mm-hmm.
For minds obsessed with compulsive thinking, I can send this to you too. For minds obsessed with compulsive thinking and grasping, you simplify your meditation practice to just 2 words. Let go. Rather than try to develop this practice and develop that, achieve this and go into that, the grasping mind wants to read all the suttas, to study the Abhidhamma, to learn Pali and Sanskrit, then the Madhyamika and Prajnaparamita, get ordinations in the Hinayana, Mahayana, Vajrayana, write books and become a renowned authority on Buddhism. Figure it out. Instead of becoming the world's expert on Buddhism and being invited to great international conferences, why not just let go, let go, let go? For years, I did nothing but this in my practice. Every time I tried to understand or figure things out, I'd say, let go, let go, let go, until the desire would just fade out. So I'm making it very simple for you to save you from getting caught in an incredible amount of suffering. There's nothing more sorrowful than having to attend international Buddhist conferences. Some of you might have the desire to become the Buddha of the age, Maitreya, radiating love throughout the world. Instead, just be an earthworm who knows only 2 words. Let go, let go, let go. Or I, Robert, prefer maybe let be, let be, let be. You see, ours is called the lesser vehicle, the Hinayana, so we only have these poverty-stricken practices, the little Buddhist politics there. So let be.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. That's very helpful.
And if you want a reminder, you can remember Cookie Monster a long time ago with let her be, oh let her be, let her be. Today's letter is B. Let it be.
Find that on YouTube and watch it again.
It's quite a good reminder. Well, friends, it's 8:15. Time to go soon for me. Anything else that's sitting on your heart that you'd like to share? Oh, another intuition that just popped in, Michelina. You know the book, The Prophet? Khalil Gibran's The Prophet. People read.
I haven't read it, but I'm familiar with it.
People read the one on marriage. People read at weddings, and I just love it. He carried that manuscript on his person for something like 25 years. It's so beautifully honed. But there's the one on children. Your children are not your children. They are the fruits of life's longing for itself. They come through you, but they are not of you. It's this wonderful.
Thank you. I'll look that up.
Yeah. If you just look for Gibran on children, it'll pop up.
Cool.
Imagine that. We can go to our phone and type in Gibran on children, and bam, there we have it. It's so cool. All right. Last call. Anyone? Well, I don't see kids. Are there any kids hovering in the background? Any? No. Let's hum the primary sound as Ram Dass used to put it, the dial tone of the universe, Om. And let's do that for a minute or so, and I'll end with a gong. And let's let the Om vibrate in our hearts and our throats and all the way up into our crown chakras. And let us have it carry our best wishes to all beings. Om. Don't forget to unmute. Om. 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 Have a lovely, mindful day, friends.
Blessings to all.
See you soon.
Thank you.
Thanks, everybody.
Dance party tomorrow?
Dance party. Thanks for the reminder. Yes.
Okay, check.
Check.